A terrorist attack is a traumatic experience, particularly for the immediate victims and their families. It is an experience that will haunt many of the victims for the rest of their lives. However, the impact of this trauma can be reduced significantly by providing quick and efficient assistance. States should be prepared and ensure that there is effective coordination among the actors responsible for the direct care of the victims and their families. This coordination should involve parties such as the first responders, law enforcement, victim assistance units, health professionals, and of course, relevant organizations from civil society. Within these coordination efforts, the actions should be focused on victims' needs. A set of established guidelines are useful in this context. General guidelines include immediacy, intervening as soon as possible, accessibility, making assistance easily accessible to victims, comprehensive assistance, taking into consideration all the particular needs of the victim at each stage of the process they are going through according to the different types of injuries or damage that they suffered. One of the elements that states should consider is providing financial assistance to victims of terrorism, such as free legal aid. States should also consider, on request, technical and financial support to other states dealing with the complex challenges of assisting victims of terrorism. In the immediate aftermath of an act of terrorism, the state should develop a multi-disciplinary crisis response team that includes victim assistance professionals. The support services to victims should take into consideration the specific characteristics of the victims. For example, services provided to child victims should be tailored to meet children's emotional and cognitive capacity. It is important to draft a list that documents the identity and contact information of the victims. However, the victim's privacy and confidentiality must be safeguarded. For example, in this context, this means that victims can choose whether they wish to speak with the media. When personal information becomes public, there is a risk that victims will be hurt again because of media attention. Victims are essential to the criminal investigation into acts of terrorism and in terrorism trials. They can participate in criminal proceedings, meet directly with the prosecution, or attend court hearings. This should be done responsibly. States must protect victims who participate in counter-terrorism investigations and criminal proceedings. Judges in particular should receive training on how to safely question traumatized and frightened victims. It is important to have a legal framework in place that facilitates the provision of victim services and establishes the rights and roles for victims during criminal justice proceedings. Do you want to know more about managing assistance to victims of terrorism immediately after the attack and in criminal proceedings? Read the full text of the Madrid Memorandum on Good Practices for Assistance to Victims of Terrorism immediately after the attack and in criminal proceedings, produced by the Global Counterterrorism Forum. You can find the document, including a comprehensive list of legal, policy and operational considerations, at toolkit.thegctf.org or thegctf.org.